All right, guys, bang, bang. I have the one and only Mr. Jim Cramer here. What's going on, man? You look at Bitcoin specifically. The two things that are important to understand is the macro environment. There's no better asset in the world than Bitcoin in terms of you've got interest rates manipulated down to zero. You've got trillions of dollars being printed, which creates a fear of inflation, whether it ever happens or not.
Right.
Retail is going to rush for inflation hedge assets. Inflation hedge assets can include everything from real estate, precious metals, Bitcoin, etc. And Bitcoin structurally, it's the smallest market cap, it's got the most volatility, is likely to go up the most in value when people fear inflation. Right. So if you look at like a Paul Tudor Jones, when he comes out and he says, look, inflation hedge assets are going to do great in this macro environment. It's just Bitcoin's going to be the fastest horse. Right. So they'll all do well. Just Bitcoin's going to be the most volatile. So when it goes down, that means Bitcoin draws down the most. But when all these assets go up, Bitcoin goes up the most.
But let me give you the thing. I mean, there's a stock
Okay.
called Barrick. Okay.
Yep.
The symbol is gold. I like that because it's easy. Portnoy must like that. He said, I want to buy gold. He goes buy gold. And I think gold is remarkable. And this company has an incredibly low cost. Gold is, they make about $700 per ounce. Does gold complement crypto, or does crypto make it so you don't need gold?
So the way I think about, take like a gold bug and a Bitcoiner, you put them side by side.
Yeah.
They agree almost to the T on all of the structural problems, the macro environment, all those issues. They agree on the theoretical solution, which is sound money principles.
Right.
What they disagree on is the application of the sound money principles.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you a theoretical question.
All right.
If I were coming out of college, no. If I were 32, 35, and it started to make money and felt like my principle, which is that you need 10% of your assets in gold. I've been a gold bug all my life. Do you think that I wouldn't even be thinking about gold, and I would just be thinking I need 10% of my assets in a great hedge against inflation, so I need to be in crypto, and that gold would be something that actually didn't compute, because who wants to hide something in some place and pay for a deposit box? It's really an inefficient way to fight inflation.
Yeah, I think the first key, and we talked about the financial education, is people are waking up to just, hey, I should have an inflation hedge asset in my portfolio, right?
Absolutely.
There's a bucket there. I got to have it.
But here's the problem. He said yesterday that in 3 to 5 years, we're all going to have to pay for what the government. And my friend Joe Kernan asked me that. And I said, I have been so possessed by that because I know that we're going to get hurt. So when I go to my inflation handbook, what it says is buy gold, buy masterpieces, and buy mansions. Those are the three things that's it. In my age, okay? Those are the three things you have to do. Now, my wife's in real estate, so we've gone with the real estate. Well, I would have said, you know what? Stocks are doing well. I feel they're a good hedge against inflation. There's no inflation. But then everything broke down. And now I know I'm being reckless. See, I was being prudent with cash, okay? That's what I thought. Because you have stock, you have cash. That's great for your kids. Remember, the 29, 26. After what happened during this period, it's not right. I know now I went from being prudent to being reckless. So do I have to go buy them paintings? Again, very hard and subjective, okay? Real estate, again, taken care of. I've taken care of that asset. But I think that they will be, by the time they're 35 and 40, much more comfortable owning not the gold that they have, but the Bitcoin that they have, because they're digital. And this is a very serious issue, that the 3 trillion. So I got to take action. And I'm going to take action after this video.
My favorite stats are for the last 6 fiscal years, the government has set a new record for federal tax income revenue, right? So we keep taking in more and more money, but the intra-year deficit gets bigger and bigger. So it's not an income problem, right? It's just, we just keep spending more and more and more and more. And people will debate, what should we spend on, what should we not? I don't care. All I know is that when you print that much money, I'll tell you where it comes from. They're going to steal the purchasing power of all the people holding cash.
Yeah, I told my daughter to read about Weimar, the Weimar Republic, read about what happened before the Third Reich, how they wiped out purchasing power, and then they wiped out savings. It was a 1-2 punch. Everyone was penniless. One of the big reasons why You had the tumultuous, and I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but you had the tumultuous things that happened in Germany had a lot to do with them printing money the way we printed. They were walking around with wheelbarrows. I hope that doesn't happen. But as a student of history, I'm ashamed that I have not acted on what is the first time that I've seen a Weimar-like situation in our country. And I believe me, in 2011, with the I spoke to the Philadelphia Eagles when they just downgraded the debt, and I said, "Listen, you don't have to worry. We're the strongest country in the world." Blah blah blah. Now it doesn't have to do with whether the strongest country in the world. What it has to do with is we can't pay. We just can't. So what do? Now you can go overseas. I mean, that's not my plan.
Yep.
Or you can hedge.
Of
And
course.
a hedge with, I've got the hedge on one side, but I don't have appreciation of hedge. And that's why I got to make this move, which is why I'm glad I talked with you, because for the most part, I'm a stock guy. I know that. I'm a gold guy. I'm a real estate guy because my wife. But I didn't have anyone to talk to. And the reason I didn't have anyone to talk to is because of what I call the Portnoy factor, which is that everybody's a speculator. And I'm thinking about 10 years. Because I'm thinking about my kids will not, the moment I make that move, my kids will not be able to touch this until 2030. Okay.
Of course.
So I'm certainly not trading. And I'm going to buy it in stages because I don't want to commit all at one level. But, if you know you're not going to be able to touch something in 2030 and it's cash, well, believe me, that cash is not going to be worth what you think it is. And I'd like to think I'm a pro. I'd like to think that I have analyzed the situation. But the $3 trillion that we printed changed everything that I believe in. And now if you told me, honest to God, if you told me that I should be buying lakes in Maine, because I would do it. I mean, I am so concerned. I'm not frightened. I'm not scared, but I'm concerned that I'm not being prudent. And I now think that Bitcoin is prudent.